These protests are popping up everywhere, bro. Listen, don't get me wrong, I get it. The optics of it alone is what's like stressing the left out in ways that are just crazy. And it's just like, listen, bro, we are a nation of laws. In fact, a nation of immigrants also, sure. We'll all agree to that, right? But we are, in fact, a nation of laws. The individuals that are coming in, firstly, are breaking the law. They're trespassing on our southern border, okay? That's just the reality of the situation here. I get it. You see the imagery, and it is hurting your delicate feelings. I get that, right? But what are we supposed to do, bro? Let the whole world's population into the country and say, you know, but listen, our border, who cares about our border? Not a single country on earth would allow this. Not a single one. Why do we have to continually do that? Like, you know, we pay taxes, right? Like, why are our tax dollars being used to fund other people that have come into the country illegally? Like, think about that for a second. It's like they don't. All right. And that's how I know they get tax refunds. And I'm going to go ahead and point this out here. All right. I know you get tax refunds when you don't care at all about the southern border, when you don't care about any of these things. I know it. I have not received a tax refund in any meaningful manner in over 20 years. I have to pay taxes every single year. Okay. Large, and unfortunately, large amounts of it. And yeah, so I'm telling you right now, I care a lot about the southern border. I care a lot about where this money is being spent. I care a lot about where the money is being sent to. All right, listen, if I don't, guys, we need to see actual benefits from the amount of money that we're spending in taxes yearly. Period. All right, period. That's the reality of the situation. And I think this is. I was about to get canceled. I can't say that. But listen, there was one time in life where not everyone could vote. Okay, I'm telling you, in our history, there was a certain type of people that could basically vote, and I'm not referring to skin tone, none of these things. I'm referring to the people who paid taxes were the ones who were voting. I'm telling you, there were a time in history. Okay, I'm not trying to say that's a thing that we should do, but just be fully aware. Just be fully aware here, guys. All right. This is frustrating. Guys, listen, HOMAN warns ICE raid protesters, this is not a game. I know this is not a game. You guys are playing right now. We need help. No countries allow this craziness. And we should? Come on, bro. Let's jump into it. Let's jump into it.
This is not a game. That is the message from the border czar to protesters trying to block ICE raids against criminal migrants. Tom Homan now promising to investigate the leaks that disrupted an operation targeting suspected Tren de Aragua gang members. Jonathan Hunt is on this. He's live out of LA for us. Hi, Jonathan.
Hey, Sandra, hundreds of federal agents took part in the raids in Aurora, but instead of busting Tren de Aragua gang members, the raid itself was pretty much a total bust. There were no gang members at the targeted apartment buildings, but immigration activists were there using bullhorns to berate the ICE agents and to offer advice to any immigrants who might have been at home.
Listen, I would, in fact, account this as you are aiding and abetting criminals. Listen, protest all you want, but I'm letting you know right now, if you stop the movement of removing people that are unlawfully in the United States of America, along with committing crimes while being unlawful, then I think you personally should get some type of aiding and abetting charge attached to your name, sir.
Please
or madam.
Remain silent. Don't open the door.
That apparently infuriated border czar Tom Homan, who was on site in Colorado.
They may find themselves in a pair of handcuffs very soon. So working with DOJ on that, get some legal guidance on that. I'm not an attorney. I know what SecOps is about. I know what crossing that line is.
Title 8 of immigration law, quote, makes it an offense for any person who, knowing or in reckless disregard of the fact that an alien has come to, entered, or remains in the United States in violation of law, conceals, harbors, or shields from detection, or attempts to conceal, harbor, or shield from detection such alien in any place. Now,
guys, I'm gonna be honest. Listen, that is plain as day. All right, I thought it was going to be some like legalese type of thing, but it's not. It's just plain as day. So apparently this already exists. I think that qualifies. All right, I think they are all qualifying, along with the New Jersey governor. who was saying that he was hiding people in his garage, right? You are now, in fact, doing it. But here's the thing here, guys. If federal law says that this is illegal, but yet sanctuary cities are existing, how does that work? Again, I'm not a lawyer here, but that's a little troubling. Like, they're in like willful disregard. It sounds like federal funds should be removed from every single city that is considering themselves as a sanctuary city. All right, guys, don't listen. You taught me something today. U.S. Title 8 immigrant. I don't even want to write that down. I'm saying that all day now.
Now, that's a tough legal standard to reach in this case, according to experts, but
Really?
it's certainly possible.
Okay.
You have to prove that the defendant knew something about the crime they were committing. One of the elements of the offense is always knowledge. Here, though, the statute specifically says the person can either know they are harboring or shielding an illegal alien or be in reckless disregard of the fact that they are.
Okay.
Now, leaking of information about the raid was also clearly a problem in Aurora. If this was supposed to be shock and awe immigration enforcement, the ICE agents clearly lost the shock part of that combination. Sandra?
Jonathan Hunt on that for us. Jonathan, thank you. John?
Sandra, joining us now to dig deeper on this is the president of the National Border Patrol Council, Paul Perez. Paul, great to see you again. So Tom Homan, after what happened in Aurora, Colorado, where they only came away with one Tren de Aragua member, as opposed to the expected 100, said that he's basically fed up with the locals trying to help these people hide out. Here's what he said. Listen here.
This isn't a game. When the operations get leaked like that, it puts our officers at great risk. It's already a dangerous job. We know TDA is dangerous. Everybody can agree to that. But when they get a heads up we're coming, it's only a matter of time before our officers are ambushed. And their job...
I don't think their numbers are that large, bro.
It's dangerous enough. So we're going to address this very seriously.
You know, this involved joint operations.
Like, it's possible for like 2 or 3 guys to be like, hey, listen, they're coming, we're going to do something, right? But I just don't think that their numbers are that large to be able to kind of win over the situation. It just seems like they're trying to do like self-deletion by cop type thing.
Border Patrol was there, CBP, HSI, DEA. You had a lot of agencies coordinating with each other, and then you had activists on the ground who are actively trying to thwart this. Homan is threatening to put anybody in jail who interferes with operations in the future. Is that the way to go?
Yeah, I mean, so these people are putting our agents and officers at risk by tipping them off or by being out there and interfering and impeding. So absolutely, with Department of Justice under Pam Bondi now, we know that we're going to have the support that we need from the DOJ to make sure that we can go after these criminals and lock them up. And it's unfortunate that these activists are out there putting these people, these illegal alien criminals, above the safety and security of the people that are here doing what they need to do to go to work, living in these apartment complexes that are not in harm's way because of these criminals. They're interfering and they should be dealt with.
That really makes you scratch your head as to why people in the community would want to shield Tren de Aragua members who have been terrorizing the community. Doesn't seem to make a lot of sense to a lot of people. So that
Yeah, but it's because like the news has definitely overblown the situation in Aurora. That's just a fact here, guys. That's what the news does, period. Now, if we're talking about like, bro, 20 people doing craziness, I mean, yeah, they should want them to go away. But the fact that they're out here protesting is basically saying that they're not causing that much of a havoc. The news is just basically overblowing it. That's kind of what it looks like outside looking in here. Not biased under any circumstance here. I'm just telling you, it's what it looks like. If they're protesting to basically keep them there or keep other people there, or maybe they're also protesting against them getting caught and then them catching some type of collateral, and then that is what they're protesting. Potentially, guys, who knows here. But if they're protesting, then the situation that the news is blowing, right, is not as big as the news is actually saying. They're just using it as like a fiery title and thumbnail type of thing.
was what was going on in Colorado. So meantime, in Illinois, a few states over, the Department of Justice is suing both Governor J.B. Pritzker and Brandon Johnson, the mayor of Chicago, for interfering in deportation operations, saying in part in a lawsuit, quote, "The United States brings this declaratory and injunctive action to prohibit the state of Illinois and its subdivisions from enforcing several state and local laws that are designed to, and in fact interfere with and discriminate against the federal government's enforcement of federal immigration law in violation of the Supremacy Clause of the United States Constitution. Pritzker insists that he's just following the law, but
You're not.
Immigration and Customs Enforcement, what the Border Patrol czar have been saying is, look, if the local officials would just honor ICE detainers, they'd never have to go into the community with these raids. But the local officials refuse to do it.
Right. Right. It's like the locals specifically want the left exclusively to see it and then be like, you see what these evil guys are doing? Instead of actually being like, you know what? We could just actually solve the problem and just hold them for you. And then you won't need to do all the, the shock and awe, right? They're not doing that. So yeah, I definitely would say that they probably need to be sued completely. They need to be brought to court, brought up on charges. Mainly the mayor of Chicago, along with the governor of Illinois, but mainly the governor of Chicago, the mayor of Chicago.
That's absolutely correct. Our officers, our agents can go into these jails in a secure environment, take custody of these dangerous felons, and get them out of there. But what they're doing by not honoring these detainers is they're allowing those people to go into the community, and then our agents and officers have to go in there into the communities and chase them, apprehend them, and that puts other people at risk because a lot of these criminals, they know right now, especially with Gitmo being open, they know they're going to be removed. They know they're going to be deported, so it's more likely they're going to put up a fight, which our agents are.
Put up a fart? Well, that's an intriguing slip, bro.
And officers are trained for, but it's unnecessarily putting innocent people at risk. Yeah. It's ridiculous that they're doing it.
Yeah, that would seem to be a logical development here. So Pam Bondi is hitting some of these sanctuary jurisdictions in the wallet. One of her first orders of business after being sworn in by Justice Thomas in the Oval Office was to put out this order, which says in part, quote, sanctuary jurisdictions should not receive access to federal grants administered by the Department of Justice. The department will exercise its own authority to impose any conditions of funding that do not violate applicable constitutional statutory limitations. So she wants to deny funds to sanctuary cities from the DOJ.
Agreed. Completely. Like, that's what you need to do. That's not even like that shouldn't even be like a secondary thought here. I think you would need to immediately do that right now. If you're going to maintain the sanctuary city status, then okay, no problem. No problem. We're gonna go ahead and remove federal funds to the point where your city starts to basically starve due to the fact that it wants this. So how about this? They're gonna start suffering. When they suffer, the mayor is gonna get basically packed up. They're going to bring someone in who's going to remove sanctuary city status, and now we're back to normal, guys. It is what it is now, guys. It is what it is.
Which I think would probably squeeze them. It would probably hurt their budgets, but will it make a difference?
Yes.
I think it will. I think it's great. Anytime that you go after funding, especially from the federal government, and we fund a lot of counties, cities, municipalities. And so when you go after the funding, that makes them have to make a hard decision between wanting to protect illegal aliens, and it's not hard, or serving the communities with the funding that we give them. It should not be a difficult decision.
Yeah, it's a threat of re-election.
That your priority should be to protect your communities. But
yeah,
absolutely.
Apparently some folks don't see that as important. Paul, great to talk.
Well played. Yeah, guys, I'm just not a fan of it. Like, I know I can see both sides of the scenario. There are people who are extremely emotionally tied to the fact that they don't want to see the suffering. They understand that people are leaving their country to basically, honestly, do some like economic migrancy. That's what it is here. They're not really coming for asylum. I have no problem, not a single issue in the world. I know you guys come at me a lot for this statement, but guys, I'm going to be who I am. I have no problem with refugees. I have no problem with actual asylum as long as you qualify for actual asylum. Like, we have enough to help a small amount of people. But when the rest of the world starts to realize, hey, listen, all I have to say is I'm an asylum seeker, and then they'll let me into the country, I can make a little under the table money, send that money back to my country, and then when the court case comes up, because they're so backlogged, it may be 10 years, right? And then so when a court case comes up, I just don't go, right? Or even if I do go, right, I'm just not gonna leave when they tell me to leave, when they realize that I was lying the whole time, guys. I'm telling you. That's basically what it is. And then people get sucked up into it by saying, oh, well, they were here for 10, 20 years. Bro, why didn't you get, you had a lot of presidents that were completely fine with the nonsense. You did. Biden, Kamala, they loved that. Let them, they would have said, you know what? You've been here for a while. You didn't commit any crimes, secondary crimes here, right? You could stay. Right, and give them citizenship and like residency, et cetera, et cetera. But they didn't do it, bro. They didn't care to do it. They only care to come here and basically withdraw money from small localities. That's what they did, bro. How am I supposed to feel about it? I look at it and I'm just like, this is nuts. They're taking advantage of us for real. Like, and if you want to you could follow the money pretty easily. Look at where the majority of the people are coming from, and then look on the GDP specifically for something called remittance. You'll start to realize that the country itself is not making any more money. It's just that the citizens that have come in an illegal manner are now sending all this money back to a lot of these countries, and now these countries, it's at such a rate that it's starting to show up on a lot of these countries' GDPs. Okay, this is an issue here, guys. All right, these are not asylum seekers. They're economic migrants. And that's not a free pass to come into the United States of America. You have to go through the procedure like everyone else does. I understand it's expensive. It's like $5,000. I get that, right? But bro, either if you can't afford all that documentation and paperwork and visas and interviews and all these other things, then maybe this is not the right place. There are other places that will have no problem, but I get it. You want the money, all right? And that's not enough for me to be a bleeding heart about the situation. It's not enough, bro. Now tell me that your country is persecuting you specifically, your family, that you will literally be losing your life within 3 days if you stay within the city, within your country, and it is a provable fact that is happening, then bro, come on, I got you. I have enough land. I'll help you out. I'm telling you, I have no problem at all with actual asylum seekers or people that are refugees coming, like fleeing a war. Not a single. Let them live. But economic migrants, pass. That's not a thing, bro. I'm sorry. Pay like the rest of like everyone else has to pay to come into the country. That's how that works, guys. All right. Then of course, that money goes to the country, and then we get things from a lot of this money. It goes to our taxes. So not only are they trying to avoid paying us, they're only coming here to withdraw funds from us. Like even if the government, even if they get no type of government assistance, they're also paying regularly when they go to the store. I get that. They pay taxes that they'll never see. But bro, that's not enough. All right, but either way, listen, I'm done ranting. You guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly. The fact that you just made it to the end of the video says a whole lot, actually. We have a couple other channels. MrLboyd Music, MrLboyd Movie Reacts, along with MrLboyd Discusses, where I just generally speak about the things that specifically matter to me. But in the meantime, I'll catch you guys later.